There's story after story after story after story of people climbing the Mount Everest of human achievement and taking their own lives afterwards and stuff. And you're just like, okay, how can that be? How can that be? How can that be? I mean, it must mean that doesn't satisfy. It must mean something else must, because we all have this desire to worship in some way or whatever. It's like, if you were, in my belief and in my experience, if you remove God from the equation, things become worshipped and to be worshipped. And I am the same way. It's like, I need that. I need that. Why do you need that? Like, because I'm not in my rightful place within the world. I've put myself in a new place where I am number one. It's like, I don't remember what the quote is, but I'm going to butcher it. But somebody said, the reason why when a man walks through the woods, animals shriek in terror at the existence is because they're encountering a being that isn't right with its maker.
That is
and
wild.
I was like, oh gosh, like,
we started doing screen grabs for thumbnails, so we got to record now, and we have to like get. Is it recording now?
Yeah.
Okay, so we have to get like, we're doing like photos. It sounds weird, but we're doing like photos for the thumbnail video because we're trying to gain people for the. It's so stupid. I know.
Explain this so
because
bad,
it feels
dude.
dumb. It feels dumb. But we need you to like. I'm thinking like an interesting fit. Like you're making a point. Like you're in the middle of saying something and you're like making a point.
Yeah.
Like you could just.
is what you're doing.
No, I don't want you to do it. I just want you to just.
I'm making a point now.
Oh, okay.
It's happening now. You can screen.
Oh, shoot. Okay. But can we get a more like, you know what? Let's experiment with this. I like this.
Yeah, no, we need one. We need a good one.
So we need you to make a point, right?
Go.
Now let's see that point, man.
You ready?
Yeah.
I like the hand thing.
This is the point that I wanted to make.
Okay.
So
Can you put your
were
hands up
talking
a little
about
more
this.
because I can't see the like the finance bro triangle.
All right. So once you get, see now I don't know. Now you're just laughing.
dude. I can't do this.
I can't, dude. I can't do it anymore, dude. I can't do it anymore. I
You're
can't.
messing with me.
I'm so sorry. This was Dave's idea.
I just had to try.
This is Dave's idea.
I just had to try. This is episode 255, 256. Guys, welcome back. You are here at podcast.
Oh man,
We got him, dude. How do we got him? Dude, we got our favorite guest
oh man,
ever, and he's back.
that was dirty, dude.
And he's
That was really dirty. That was really dirty.
but we're friends here, man. Adam,
Oh no.
Adam, how do you feel, man? Adam, I'm
Bouncing behaviors for the
dude, we never pranked. That was just a little fun prank.
No, you know why Dave wanted to do that? Because he watched back on a lot of the podcasts we did together, and we've had so many laughs.
We've had laugh after laugh.
a lot of laughs.
That's true.
So it was kind of like a little throwback.
I had to go. I had
that
to try
feeling,
to get
you
you
know?
one time, bro.
I get it.
Dude.
Welcome back. We don't have to use all that. I just thought it would be funny. Guys, we are on. What do we got to shout out? AnytownActorsLive.com,
God.
official partner of the You Are Here podcast, dude. You're looking at the teacher today. He's here. He's here to talk more about it. It's the best acting school you can find right now. Me and Mikey put our word on that.
100%.
It's in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. There is classes that are about to enroll. If you want to get involved, do it now. AnytownActorsLab.com. And if not, if you're far away, you may be able to sneak in a one-on-one coaching class with Adam Lowder, a teaching class. So reach out. Is there still slots available? Are people allowed to do this?
Right now, there are.
And you get free consultations, I heard.
Yeah, free 30-minute consultation.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
AnytownActorsLab.com and follow the TikTok too. You can just get knowledge, just teaching like immediately.
Come on,
which is awesome,
dude. And it's Christmas, man.
Yeah,
now's the time. Get it for a friend. Get it for your kid, your mom, your dad, whoever's
If you're
excited
listening,
about acting.
you're thinking about New Year's resolutions.
Come
And if
on.
acting's part of anything like that,
Yes, man.
dude, this is where you start.
It's your time. This is your year. 2024 is
100%.
your year. Get involved. Get started. Learn how to act.
Yeah.
You've been watching it. You've been interested in it. You don't know how to do it. We got a place for you. AnytownActorsLab.com.
Boom. Shout out to the patrons. Patreon.com/YourPodcast.
Thank you, Mike.
Dude, we are going to be putting stuff up there. I'm
We have
editing
some
something
content.
right now. Got to edit around a lot of things because there's some problems. You know, we're trying to figure out the visual. And you know, we're putting stuff up, but something's going up there real quick. I'll have something on the screen maybe for this podcast. But go on Patreon.com/YourPodcast. Sign up if you want to support us. And we're also on Twitch, live streaming, gaming, talking,
That's right.
having fun, guests. It's a good time. Us after the podcast, go to twitch.tv/YouAreHerePodcast. Click the follow button. You know when we go live.
Boom.
And we're back, man.
I have to ask him a question. Do I?
Oh, you don't got it. I know, dude. I know Adam already.
No,
We're going to have gem on gem.
I know. Okay. You got it.
So
You got it.
trust me.
Adam, who are you voting for? No.
right
Let me. And we're gonna pause, and then we're blank this out.
No, let's be real.
Yep.
Because I'm trying to be more honest.
God. Oh God. Don't say it. Don't say it. No, my grandma used to say you keep that to yourself. That's
You don't have to,
not for the table. You keep that for yourself. Adam, how you feel, man? On a real note, how are you feeling, dude? Going to the end of 2023, it's been a crazy year, man. How do you feel, dude?
Thank you so much, by the way, for the intro and always talking so positively about the school and all that. I really appreciate it. That was very kind and helpful. I feel extremely grateful, to be honest. Now, I was on the way to an editing session last night, and I hit some crazy traffic, and I may have had some choice words for the passengers and the drivers that I shared the road with.
Oh.
Like it was a problem what I was responding. So much so that I laughed out loud. No one's in the car. It's just me. And immediately started praying and was like, I have no right at all to react that way. And I have so much to be grateful for. It's wild. So since that moment, things have switched. Dude, I had this moment where I just started praying. This is God, not me. Like, what if John needs the extra time to not have your stupid self up in his apartment? Like, have you thought of that? And I was like, no. I just want to get there. We have deadlines. We have things. And sure enough, John got me. He retrieved me from his apartment building. He was like, I've just been cleaning. It's been a crazy day. Like I was just cleaning for the last 30
Look at that. Look at that.
God, dude.
Look at that.
Now look.
So anyway,
hold up.
I'm actually feeling grateful right now.
Beautiful.
I love that. But hold up. Now there's no excuse when someone's just, sideways in the street, right?
There's no excuse.
There's no excuse. So what happens there?
How do you justify
I want to
that?
ask you, Adam. Let me pose a scenario that happened to me recently. I don't know if you listened to the last podcast or the one before that, but I had a story
He listens to them all.
You listen to them all, right?
Yeah.
Of course. Okay. So I met a guy in the bank, and let's just say he was weird, definitely a crazy character, and he accused me of cutting him in line. And he was skittish. He was wild, right? And I'm like, you know what? My first instinct, immediately, I was like, go ahead, sir. Like, go ahead in front of me. And then I look at him, and like he's in front of me, and I see him taking off his jacket, and he has like 5 phones and 5 knives in his pockets, like, and he's moving them all around. Now, if someone's like, are you one to, like, if that guy said, you cut me in line, buddy, like, and you're turning, like, what do you do as Adam? Because I know what Dave does. Dave goes red. Dave might have been in jail or killed
Or dead.
Yeah. So what does Adam do?
Ooh.
I think Adam's cut from the
I
same
don't know.
cloth.
I don't know if I'm proud of how I react in moments like that. I think immediately it's like emotional because it's like if I didn't, no, like.
Yeah.
But when I turn around and I see that the guy's not right, let's say like you had the instinct of like, ooh, something's off. I'm like you. I'm like deferring.
Yeah.
No, all good. Because one time I was working as a salesman, and it was actually September 11th anniversary. This was like 2013, 14 something. And I had a little table set up down in Tribeca, and this guy was telling me a story about what happened to him on 9/11. And he was telling me a story. It was a really wild story. And there was a person that came to the table and was like yelling and being crazy, and they left. And I was like, dude, sorry about that. People are insane. Like, I deal with this all day, whatever. And he said, we don't all have the luxury of living with the benefit of a sound mind.
Oh.
And I remember being like, oh, I guess I feel bad for like saying that. And he wasn't saying it in a way that was like, you're a jerk. Like, stop.
Yeah.
He was just had a cool perspective on it. So I think one, it's kind of self-preservation. If someone's wild, like, and they, they're unpredictable, and you didn't cut them and they're just being kind of crazy. I'm not trying to go to jail. I'm not trying to get hurt or something as innocuous and stupid as, yeah, I didn't cut you. I'm in my spot. Now, if you're normal, like I can feel that you have sound mind and you're, nah, you're tripping.
Yeah.
You're tripping today.
And I hope I'm trying to balance like potential students who want to learn from you, and then like also like also like just be real as fuck about our past.
My students don't.
Yeah. I mean, it's the best acting teacher you can get anyway. But he's a man. He's a real man. When we were in Vermont, me and Adam, our wives got like catcalled from a balcony.
Oh.
Your boy saw red.
Oh.
And Adam was right there the whole time with me.
Yeah.
There was no like hesitation.
Oh, there's nothing better than
they were of
someone
sound,
else being there too.
They were of sound mind.
Oh man.
Yeah. And
they were for sure, maybe a little bit influenced by alcohol.
Maybe. Yeah, but
I'm not 100%.
That's not an excuse for me. That one I don't let that one go.
It's really
the
not.
alcohol
Yeah.
thing.
It's really not.
Yeah.
Dude, there's something interesting about what that guy said to you, because that gives me
brilliant.
Because that is basically, it's almost like surrendering a little bit of your peace of mind for the world. Right?
Yeah.
Is it worth doing it or not?
It's the better.
Like walking around being a little bit like lenient for the world.
Mm-hmm. Sacrificing your
like a little inner peace,
your want. Yeah.
Like, but I feel like if that happens too much in life, it could be bad.
Yeah. Definitely. Like you get walked all over too.
Yeah.
And you don't have.
There's definitely times to like stand your ground.
Yeah.
There's definitely times to be honest and say, no, that's not the way things are going to work, and that type of thing. But there's also, I mean, every case is a little bit different. But it's also just a principle of like spirituality to say, I have a solution for the chaos in my brain or in my life. Like some people don't. Some people don't have that personal relationship or belief or whatever. And for me, it's like I have somewhere to go with that. And it's the piece that I wish I could just always have myself, but it's not the way I believe I was created or designed to live. So I'm not the one that's going to create peace around me. Like that's not Adam on his own produces chaos usually. So for me, it's always like deferring to the one who's in charge and being like, probably not time for me to call the shots. Of course there are times when you do need to step up and like handle something, but you kind of know, like you knew in the bank, like it's not worth it. This guy's a little unhinged. Just gonna let it go. It's pretty wise.
Thanks, man.
I have a question for you, bro. What is like something that happened to you in the past that it may have felt like a failure or a step backwards, but now now that you're in your present, when you look back on it, you're like, thank God this happened.
Oh man, there feels like hundreds of memories that I could talk about. The one that immediately came to mind was making a living as an actor after I think it was 5 years or 4.5 years or something, pursuing it professionally. I've told the story 100 times, but then having the moment on set, my like 4th job in a row where I was paid good money, something that I really loved and felt crazy grateful for it. And then just not being able to do what the director wanted me to do. And me being alone as he walked away and being like, I don't know how to act. Straight up, I don't know how to do it. And it was kind of like the last straw before I was like, all right, go back to school. And, you know, I got final aid and scholarships for my school, so it wasn't as expensive as some people I was going to school with, but it was money. I mean, it was money. I uprooted myself, went to New York from Texas, and I'm going to go back. I spent 2 years in intense acting training. I'm going to go back. I was so jaded and angry at that point, and I was auditing classes with like the biggest chip on my shoulder, so annoyed. And then I got to Playhouse, and then it was like, wait, what am I watching? And then everything changed. It literally is like the dividing moment for me. It seemed like a gigantic step backward, and it was the biggest leap forward. And there was no way for me to know that. There was just no way for me to know that. And the other that comes to mind, of course, is like getting reacquainted with God through like confession of my own sins and stuff. That felt like a major step back because I was like, I am nothing but terrible. And like, how do you rebuild from here? It's like, you can't. I mean, you're terrible. But obviously there's grace and there's forgiveness. And God gave me that through his character. So then that was like a major, major overarching step forward. Of course, step right into where I'm meant to be in any given moment. But those are the two that popped into my mind. And I try to tell actors that all the time. I'm like, it may feel like a big step backwards to say, how do I do this? But it could be the building block that is going to sustain your career, or at least your pursuit of the art form the rest of your life, you know, because what comes fast goes fast. Like if you just want the quick fix, that's not going to work. But if you want to, you know, it's like what Jim said, it's like, you're going to do your career the way you do your training. It's like, yup, straight up. So that felt like a major step backwards, but it was the complete opposite.
Heck yeah, man. What's something you thought of? Something that felt like a setback years ago or a year ago or 5 months ago or something that just seemed like you were like, damn, how could this happen to me? And then it turns out to be something you needed desperately. You didn't even know it.
I think it's hard to, I don't know. I don't know right now. I think I have like the first thing I thought of was kind of choosing to like the career kind of path I have, the way I kind of chose like career over maybe like the creative in a way, but I think it was, and I did that for, personal reasons, you know, but I felt like I sort of was able to realize that like the decision I had a mind where, you know, when you're trying to focus on creative and you kind of have this, you're like, oh, I'll do it after like I go to work or something, you know, like, but it's kind of like not really viable to really do that if you're trying to really focus on things.
Totally.
I think you have to really dive in, right?
Yeah.
But I felt like I was still able to, like the path I chose, I think ended up becoming pretty positive for my life, you know? And I'm able to kind of, I don't know, I think learn more about myself and maybe take time now or in the future to maybe take that step, you know, being more prepared.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Definitely.
Because it's easy to like, if, I don't know, we always talk about like, you know, you can literally live your whole life without like doing the thing you wanted, you know, the whole time. But it's kind of sad to think that, you know, maybe these like times where after the time we do have, we try to spend it on these things isn't really, it's not like worth something.
Yes.
I think it could be worth something.
Yeah.
You know, in a little way.
Right.
So maybe it's good to be, it made me realize it's better to really take in, you know, the time, even the little time you spend on something could be worthwhile, you know?
The smaller things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In your passions, you know?
Yeah, for sure, man. Wow. Dang, bro.
Because I can't imagine life without it, kind of.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Right on. Yeah, like, did you ever think of yourself ever teaching, like, in the past? Like, how could you ever think of that? You were so focused, I feel like, on acting. I never even had the thought.
Well, Jim asked me to teach before I left the program.
Right.
I mean, before I was done with the program. So I think I was 26 at the time. And I just remember thinking, I'm young. No one's going to listen to me. He was like, I'm 10 years older than you. Like, I'm not that old, And I was like, no, you're not old at all. And he was like, I said, but for teaching, like most teachers are super young. I mean, super old. And he was like, if the teaching is good, they'll come back. That's it. He's like, you naturally share what works for you. Like, you can't not do that. And I was like, it's true. I do that with like anybody. Even my brother, he's like, I don't care. I do not care. And I'm like, let me. He's like, dude, I don't want to act. I was teaching Kurt on the camping trip. Literally, we did.
Wow! Shout out Kurt.
I can't not do it. So I think there was definitely a natural inclination to share what worked for me.
Yeah.
And then I never got a chance to teach. School ended before I was able to do that. So it was always on my mind, or in the back of my mind, because I was like, dang, that would have been sick. Because I got immediately obsessed with just trying to understand it more. And then when we did the collective, when we had the weekly rehearsals, I started getting really interested in why everybody was doing.
The collective, man?
It was the best.
Dude, how much fun was that?
For context, like Katie and I one day, I was reading Harold Clurman's collected works. It's like a book this big. It's like ridiculous. He's just like theater criticism and theory on dramas and all this crazy stuff. And I read this one thing, and it was talking about starting a theater. And I was like, Katie, we got to start a theater, man. She was like, I'm just trying to go to bed or whatever. And I was like, we got to do something. We got actors out here. We got writers. I mean, the Playhouse was done. So I was like, what are we going to do? And we were supposed to have, the lab. So it would be like a gym. You could come through and like, it was free. You could just come through and work on your stuff. And anyway, we came up with the collective, a weekly rehearsal where we started with like a group of 16 or whatever. And then it was like, invite whoever you want. So we met every Monday. It was donation based. We met at Shetler's Studios, rest in peace. And we did all types of work. We did exercises, we did scenes, we did plays, we wrote, like people wrote stuff, we did table reads, whatever. And I just got super interested in like, why are people doing repetition different? Everybody was taught the same way.
Yes.
I remember Philly would come through and they would do repetition one way. Brooklyn would do it another way, and then other people would do it in a totally different way. This is me reading behavior. Is there a weird sound happening?
No, Teddy's just barking. Keep going, bro. I'm sorry.
Oh, I got
being a nuisance.
Again, like I can't hear anything except y'all's voices. It's wild. But yeah, so that always fascinated me. I remember this thing when I was really young. So my mom and I would watch All My Children.
Oh wow!
Like in every episode. I think it was on every day. Pretty sure.
All My Children.
I watched it every day.
Is that the soap?
Yes.
Yeah.
Watched it every day. And I remember being really young, never acted, never took an acting class, nothing. And like, I can remember studying the performances and trying to understand how literally, like, I think I was like 7. I remember this recently. I remember thinking, there's like, I started to see on a plane. Like I trained my brain to see things on a different plane. Like I saw it from the perspective of the actor, and then I saw it from the perspective of the audience. And I kept like swapping lenses and like being like, what's the actor feel? And what do they see? And then what else? And I the best actors, there was like very minimal difference. Like it's the same. And I remember I'm 7 or whatever. I'm like trying to theorize, why are some of them good and why are some of them not? And so it was starting at an early age to be like, how do you crack the code on that? That's interesting. Which I think is my natural proclivity is I want to know stuff and I want to learn stuff and I want to get good at something. Like that's just my thing. So anything new, I'm always like, ooh, I want to get better because I suck right now at the beginning. So then I would try to kind of theorize and then share that with people and whatever, whether it was about basketball, acting, whatever. So I was definitely doing that already in my adulthood before I got to Playhouse. But then Jim just kind of like kick-started it. And I was just like, and then I've read the Meisner book, and there are moments when Sandy's talking to, his like administrator or whatever, and he's like, so-and-so would be a really good teacher. Mm-hmm. And then he's like, why? Mm-hmm. He's like, because he's really good at simplifying what I say and repeating it back in his own words that makes sense. And so we'll watch out for that. And I think Sandy, trained a lot of people to teach. And I think he was always looking for that. So Jim has that thing too, where he's like, there's another thing in the book where it's like, a lot of actors, a lot of teachers, try to teach, but very few teachers see. And that's the thing that I always had before I taught, before I acted, before anything. I was like, I can tell when you're fake or in your head or whatever. So that having so many hours of that has really, really helped to instinctively be able to guide someone when they're in like a very nuanced, particular, personal predicament as an actor. So it's always, every person in front of me is a totally different problem to solve, or at least help to guide them into a certain solution. And that's like, all those years have helped me go and like compute and go, here's your main issue. And then Jim told me this too when I started teaching in 2021. He was like, you're going to start to realize there's a hierarchy of what to say. If you only have a limited amount of time with each actor, your instinct is now going to be the most important foundational principle to solve will rise to the top. And you'll start to go, don't worry about all that. Focus on this. He's like, it's not the only thing you could say, but it's the thing you could say in that moment that will help them the most. And he's like, that's teaching. And I was like, okay, great. And now I feel like I put that many hours in where I'm like, I do this in my sleep. I can do it in my sleep. But I've been doing it.
Yeah.
It's not new. I've been doing it. I've pause a movie and go, here's why that doesn't work. My whole life. And then when you really get into breaking it down and then starting to try to master it, oh my gosh, it's like listening to the Mannings on a broadcast. You know what I mean?
Oh,
you're like,
yeah.
What are they saying? What did you just say? It just talked so over my head. I'm like bugging right now, Yeah. And I could watch that all day because it just a sponge, You're just like, huh? It's so fascinating. Anyway, I had it kind of for a long time, but practically speaking, it wasn't until someone else said, hey, do this, that I was like, oh, could I? And then I took a break, obviously. I didn't teach at all. And then that's when the pandemic hit, and Katie was like, just make video. Just make a Skillshare, something. You got to get this out. I was like trying to teach my dad how to act, and he was like, I don't care. Or whatever, anyone that would listen. It's nice now having someone in front of you that's like, I really want to learn.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, you actually really care about that.
Oof. Dude, you know what's kind of funny, man?
What?
I feel like it's always someone. I feel like we don't listen enough.
I was just gonna say that.
Like people say something like,
yeah, I was just gonna say that.
Damn, dude. It's always someone tells you, you're good at this.
Yeah.
Or you should do that. Like I could see you doing it.
Isn't that interesting?
And we never take it.
It's a great like example.
And eventually you come back to it somehow.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was like you were just saying, Adam, like your whole life you were kind of gearing up without even knowing it to share that information you were gathering. And then it took another person to say, do it.
Yeah.
For you to do it. You weren't going to do it. Like, who knows? You might have, you might not have, but like, it's just interesting that another person
I think eventually it was Adam kind of just made the decision to kind of start doing it, right?
For sure. I mean, definitely.
But it's funny though, because it's like for you, it's like now you're starting a voice acting thing, right?
Right.
And I've worked a few, right, at the Cat. Everyone always told you you have a great voice for something, for doing this, for that. And it's like, now you're doing the voice acting thing.
Yeah, but again, it's
exactly.
Like,
yeah.
It's just weird. Yeah.
And then for me too, like I realized I'm like, in college, I like TA'd. I taught Pro Tools and audio editing, and now I'm doing a podcast doing like audio editing. Yeah. It's like, what the heck, man? But it takes so long to do it.
Yeah, like to get to that.
Yeah,
point.
maybe we could just listen a little more.
Yeah,
listen. Someone actually compliment, like out of nowhere. It's usually out of nowhere.
Totally.
But it's always like the thing we brush off the most.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's very interesting. Yeah, dude.
And that's the clip.
It is really helpful.
That's the clip.
It is really helpful when someone sees that and then they say something about it. Is super helpful. But there's also like, I don't know the exact quote, but there's a Sissy Spacek quote that I share with my students, but it's basically like, we all have like an inner voice. And it's like, it's kind of the artist, human being's job to like really, really tune your ear to that inner voice. And I always say like, it's kind of the voice of your instinct speaking up, or it could be the voice of an entity, like an evil or a good entity or whatever. Either way, like there's definitely something in us that's like calling, and saying you should do this. A lot of times for me, I was any sort of altruistic, good natured voice for so many years was drowned out by my own self-seeking nature. And so that voice didn't speak, like Jim being like, you should teach. Like I'm sure the first thought was like, I'm next up, dog.
It's me, man.
You're teaching. What you taught me so I could go. Give me 50 years, homie. Like in the batter's box. You're about to see. That's probably my response. You know what I mean? And now it's like, it's way different.
That's
it's
the
way,
realist.
thank God. Way different. Where it's like, that is so stupid. Do not care about that BS anymore. But like anytime, like, it's so wild because now I think of acting as like, it's just an opportunity to serve. It just is, man. Every single time. It's an opportunity to serve myself. It's an opportunity to serve someone else, serve the story. And like, it's up to me to choose. Like God's not a dictator. He gave me the choice. So, okay, I can choose who I want to serve. But I spent most of my adult life serving me. And it got me nowhere. It got me rock bottom. But now it's like, whenever I'm acting, it's so wild because I'm like, I hope a student will see what I mean in action. It's so wild because I don't really think like, yeah, they about to see it now. It's like, no, I hope they get the story. Like, I hope the story hits them. And then I hope if they're really trying to learn that something that I've done, if I'm acting, will go, oh, it's better than when you talk at me. It's not as good as when you talk at me as when I see it, you know, because you know, I'm such a visual learner too. So I always try to recommend the plays and the books and the movies because I'm like, I talk at you a lot. We need to experience stuff. Then you also need to watch great acting.
Yeah.
You have to. And you need to know the difference between great and bad and great and good and all that.
Dude, I just feel like I got to say it. Like, because we both struggled with this early on, up until recently, really, if you want to like look at the grand scheme of it. But I think like, and you could say better than I can, for people who you come across now, but you know, students who come and, you know, and learn from you. One of I think the major like thorns in the, like the blockages of like what a person can be service-wise in acting, what they could contribute truly to the world, you know, like whoever comes across them in a bar, in a little theater, in a giant production on a television or whatever, like, is the idea that like I need to be served myself. Like I need to be special. Like I need to be really, really, really good, because then I'll be accepted and loved and, you know, appreciated. And then I'll be established. Like my life is worth it. And I feel like that is at the core probably the major issue with most people who get into acting, is this idea of like, not everybody, but just most, is like, I just need to be seen and heard and understood and accepted and loved. And I got to be great for that reason. Because it is the number one thing, the fastest way to get really bad at acting. It's the fastest way. Because immediately you're in your head thinking like, how do I progress? How do I like do it? How do I get good at this thing? How do I cheat the system and cheat everybody else to think that I'm great? And you just never truly serve a story 100% of what you could. Like you never fulfill your potential, because there's always a part of you watching yourself get better. And who's watching? And how far is this going to go? And it just drives me nuts, dude. Like to this day, it took for me, the separation from it, like being removed from acting in 2020, and we were together in a basement. You know, like we used to complain all the time because we were like, we deserve better than this. We do so much, and we're great, and this and that, and we know it, and we know we're the shit, and this and that, and we were just, you know, like, I don't know, I would just fill in my head with these crazy ideas about myself, and then talk about like removing things, like things feeling like setbacks, but turning into the thing that you needed, dude. When it was removed, when it was no longer like, I can't go to this well to feel accepted and feel loved. All the work I put in, I can't show nobody. And if I do, no one cares. It was like a perfect punch in the nose, like to just disorient me enough into the thing like I needed to find and like my faith and like fully accepting who I am and like knowing this is as good as it's going to get. Like I don't need no more. That the acting became a gift. That the service of a story now is no longer about me at all. When they used to say vessel, I was like, yeah, vessel. I'm the vessel. I didn't get it. You know what I mean? Like vessel for something great. I was like, I am the greater vessel. Like I'm the best vessel. Check this out. Now it's like, oh, I get it. This shit I'm in, it don't matter none. Like this is. I'm just trying to house something that's better than me and then put it out for whoever is around to give them hope. Period. End of story. It's not about me. And I hope that that's understood. And if it's not, I don't give a fuck. And that's the major difference. I don't care. I don't care. I hope hope is passed through me and this isn't a waste, but like, I know I'm already loved and I'm being of service and I'm being honest. And the gift of all the learning that I've gotten, I've been able to like, when we had the opportunity to make a movie, bro, like that is crazy. Like we got the chance to do it in that way. We were so close to doing it the other way. We were so close to like launching our flagship company, you know, in that we were at a meeting table, like, here we go, doing it that way, you know, like I'll speak for myself. I was going to do it that way. And, yeah, just interesting, bro. Like the craft no longer is to validate myself. It's like, oh, I'm lucky to do it when I do it, if I ever do it again. Like it's just so much better. It was like dancing while music was playing. Like that's what it felt like the whole time. Every scene, before the scenes, in between the scenes, after the scenes, hard moments, you know, whatever, the challenges, all of it. But like, just to be able to be like, oh, I can just let it go. I can just let it go. I have a craft, and let's see what is sent through me this whole day. Let's just see what's in front of me, not even on me. What's in front of me? What is being gifted to me in this moment? All the work's fucking done, and I can actually let it go now, not hold on to it for dear life so that I'm good, so that I'm seen as good, so the critic thinks I'm good. You know what I mean? And I would have buckled, bro, if we did that before. If you're like, oh, Dave, you're going to be a lead in the next thing we do, and like, yeah, you got this. Good luck. Like, I'm going to be there with you. I would have been fucking scrambling, dude.
Yep.
So it's just super interesting, like that we had the opportunity to do it the way we did it, and yeah, I'm just blown away with how effortless it felt in the midst of all the challenge as well. Like it was just being of service is it's different than being self-serving. Even if it's 1%, even if it's like, you know, this much, you're like, you know, I'm watching myself do this thing, like. I don't know. It just kills me that some people. I wish I could wave my fucking hand and I could just disappear all that shit that I had to go through. And I know that that's what you're doing. Like you're attempting to do that and remove that from people that are calling you, that are like on these one-on-ones that are in the classroom. You're attempting to do that so they don't get along this road too far. So they don't watch themselves for 10 years, you know, like trying to be great. You will be great when you stop trying to be great. Like. That doesn't mean stop trying to work and to get better. There's a difference. It's not give up and lay down and see what comes your way. It's you work consistently, you work in this fashion, you're given a roadmap, but it's not about self-service. It's not about being a god. You know what I mean? Because you're serving something. You're either serving something bigger than you, like you can fill in the blank, or you're serving, you know, some crazy thing like fame. Like that's my God, you know, and that was it for me. It was like, dude, get famous, get rich, and, you know, get love that way. Like that was it. then mom's gonna see you on TV and mom's gonna love you more, and like you're gonna be able to give her stuff, and we're good, man. Everyone's good, and just interesting. All the work was for that. When I get real honest, all the work I did was just to serve this little meek soul, just to feed it a little bit of love, in a weird fucking way, in the weirdest way, on a stage, in a show. And I go, what? I'm in the collective trying to, like, get better, to feel loved. Like, it's just a crazy thing. I don't know. I'm rambling, man, but it's at the core of my belly how badly I want to remove that, from others, so they don't have to run their head against the same wall or climb the ladder to nothing. You know what I mean? And find out the view isn't that nice. Instead of just, like you said, enjoy the little things, the little creative things when you get, it's like that, those moments, I probably missed a bunch of them because I was like too busy trying to get better, like, and for myself. And I didn't fulfill my potential probably fully in those things, those moments I had, those opportunities, because I was too worried about me, It's just so funny. I don't know. And now I just feel so like confident and not in a watch me kind of way. I don't know how else to say it.
Said it perfectly. Exactly what it's like. And I think acting is filling the void in your own soul with a vocation per capita, way higher in acting, I think, because I think in the way that we aggrandize actors and worship them and glorify them and want to be them and all that stuff. I mean, it's built into the way that even the stories are marketed to the public, and the way that they're consumed, and the way that the Hollywood is set up in general. So it's just kind of a cyclical thing. But everybody's doing that. Everybody's doing it. And everybody has a God of their own choosing. Sometimes it's even, I choose to do whatever I want, like godless. Like, oh, that's your God. Your God is free will or whatever. It's like, God is to do whatever I want at the drop of a hat. Your God is to be impulsive, or to have freedom, or whatever. We're all doing it. And a lot of times it is, well, I'm going to manifest something physical to actualize the validation I need and I seek. And it's like, you won't. There's story after story after story after story of people climbing the Mount Everest of human achievement and taking their own lives afterwards and stuff. And you're just like, okay, how can that be? How can that be? How can that be? I mean, it must mean that doesn't satisfy. It must mean something else must. Because we all have this desire to worship in some way or whatever. It's like, if you were, in my belief and in my experience, if you remove God from the equation, things become worshipped and to be worshipped. And I am the same way. It's like, I need that. I need that. Why do you need that? Like, because I'm not in my rightful place within the world. I've put myself in a new place where I am number one. It's like, I don't remember what the quote is, but I'm going to butcher it. But somebody said, the reason why when a man walks through the woods, animals shriek in terror at the existence is because they're encountering a being that isn't right with its maker.
That is
and
wild.
I was like, oh gosh, like, that's something else. Like, a hawk does what a hawk does. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's no like wrestle. Like, I could be like, God made you and you're doing your thing. Like, you're doing, but man walks around with this gift of free will and goes, this is whack. I'm about to watch this. And it's tragic because we can do so many beautiful things because I feel like we're created by something beautiful. So it's amazing when I feel like God makes the path straight, because then it's like, oh yeah, I'm in my spot where I'm supposed to be. I don't need one more dollar, one more fan, one more box office hit. I mean, I was gonna name the filmmaker. I won't, because it seems kind of rude. But like one more great acclaimed perfect film, and then I'm good, and then I'm good. It's like, you're good? What are you talking about? Like, every human being who wants to pursue filmmaking is looking at you going, if only, and you're going, I just need one more, one more, and then it's like, dude, you seem not at peace, and you climbed Everest 10 times, dog. Like, you're top dog, you're king, and it's like the spirit isn't at rest within an individual who's accomplished so much. Remember, we watched The Last Dance. We talk about this a lot. Michael Jordan's sitting there,
chain smoking cigars.
That's the god. That's the god of the sports world. And you even had Larry Bird saying, like, what do you say? Jesus, like Jesus in the flesh or whatever, like playing ball against Jesus. Like, he's calling him Jesus, you know? And Mike's sitting there. How many years has it been since he retired? I mean, he's sitting there smoking his billionth cigar, and he's going, if I'm honest, like, I can't come to terms with the fact that I can't compete for a 7th championship.
Dude.
And I say this all the time. It's like, dog, you better come to terms with it.
You ain't putting on no fucking jersey anymore, man. It's over.
You're not putting a jersey, but yeah, it's over. And he's not at rest. Like, couldn't have more money. But everywhere that dude goes, he is worship.
Yeah.
It literally. But literally, not just like, what? If he walked in front of me, I'd be like, oh. I wouldn't even know what to say. Like, and that's me. Like, what are you talking about? But that's what he was able to accomplish. So we all look at that. I mean, how many kids are dreaming? Have you seen Hoop Dreams? Every kid who picks up a ball is doing it. I was bred to do this when God's not in the equation.
That's right.
And I love to remove. I was good at math when it came to that. I just remove him. And then I do whatever I want.
Yeah.
Manifest destiny, baby. Like, it's going to be great. It isn't going to be great because my spirit will not be at rest. That's what's wild about Sundays. Because I would get it all twisted up. I was like, oh man, it's where you don't do anything. Like, that's not what it means, man. Right. It means you're with your actions telling God, my spirit is at rest because of what you've done for me. And it's like, oh, so I no longer have to. It's amazing. We've put the W in that word rest because that's a double meaning. Rest with an R is like, I'm chilling. Rest with a WR is wrestling. I'm gonna wrest happiness out of life. Why is it so much of a like, happiness isn't a fruit of the spirit. Like, that's something I'm trying to create all the time. Like, I'm happy because I'm doing something I love and people love that I do, and I'm getting that hit every time someone watches me do it. I'm like, and I'm good for 15 seconds and then I need another one. It's not enough. It's like, peace isn't of me. It's like it's of the Holy Spirit. Like, I'm only when I involve that which the Holy Spirit is, do I actually get that. Mm-hmm. And then it's like, oh yeah. Now I'm actually satiated, fulfilled enough to actually put myself in right standing with others, which is to say below them. Mm-hmm. I'm not, oh man, or no. I'm to humble myself. That's what the Lord God Almighty did, like with Jesus, humbling himself that much to become man. You don't have to do that. You're God. You can just, y'all. That's what y'all deserve, right? No. I'm going to become. So it makes sense that, like, born into this world, I'd like to act. It's like, that's not a sinful response. You know, God acted as man. Like, it's not bad. But if I do it without its intent, it does become bad because I've removed good from the equation. Mm. And so it's either good or bad, which is it? With me on my own, it's bad. It's always bad. And that's what you're saying, is the freedom of being one with the way that it was supposed to go. You naturally have to trust because you're not impervious to failure. And that's what we were trying to build up. The armor of our excellence was like, I won't fail. I won't fail. And that's what kept us not great most of the time. But you entered into the movie with a heart of service, a heart of openness, and it required trust because you were vulnerable to failure. So there were many times we would drive home from set and you'd be like, I don't know how it's going. I don't know how it's going. And it would, because you weren't watching yourself while we were acting.
Yeah.
Like you didn't have that third eye being like, be a little bit of this, be a little bit of that. Because you were fully in the moment. You have to fully trust to fully be in the moment.
Yeah.
So it's not like, I work with students and we just immediately start talking about Jesus. Like, no, but we do talk about failure right away. And we do talk about you have to dare to fail. Mm-hmm. It's like, no. But that's a John Cassavetes quote. Different JC. No. But he's saying you have to dare to fail. You have to be willing to risk everything in order to express what you're there to express. So just do it. Just do it. And I love setting the tone in the classroom of terrified actors who just want to be great and being like, hey man, this is not the place where I'm the hard ass who's going to be like, you better get it right. A1 from day one, no. It's crazy the growth that happens because we weren't really trained that way. We had a lot of pressure on us.
Yeah.
It was major, like, you better deliver time.
Really? Yeah, it was.
And I still think it was great training, and there were incredible moments of humility and stuff that I didn't.
Absolutely.
I look back, I remember thinking, that was one of my questions I had for Jim was like, how do you remain patient?
That's literally what I said to him when I said, how do you, when you see it, when you know the problem, how do you let them get to it? Because I can't, if it's me acting on instinct, I cannot sit there and watch it. I'm going nuts because I know I could just interject and be like, boom, it's this. Now just try this thing differently the next time. Do it. Go work on that. Yeah. I couldn't imagine him, the amount of patience Andre had just to sit there and let these moments crash and burn with the issues that they knew from the beginning because they'd done it. That's why I was like, I can't teach. There's no way. And I just need patience. I just need a ton of patience if I ever went down that road. But yeah, I'm sorry to cut you off, man. I thought the same exact thing about teaching.
That was one of my major concerns because I was super reactive in class.
Yes.
Like everyone made a joke about Adam. You know how Adam feels about a scene. Because I was in the scene, good, bad, ugly.
I love it.
And I literally would try to stop my face. I would be like, there were times I watched scenes like this. So I was like, this is distracting.
Me too.
Because I didn't know.
Yeah.
Because I was just, no place I'd rather be. Time went by like this.
Oh, yeah.
I loved it. And so then there would be moments, and I would literally be making the most grotesque. Someone would defend an insecurity, or something, defend a bad choice. I'd be literally looking at them going like this. And Carlotta would be like, stop. I'd be like, what are you talking about, dude? And I'd be like, hey, get in them. And I'd wait for the feedback, and hopefully it would just be just so impatient and just follow. And they weren't really like that.
No.
I know I'm saying they were tough, and they were.
Yeah.
But my heart was not in the posture that we're talking about of service. And I think there was a higher calling involved with the teaching impulse.
Definitely.
Literally talking about that. God said, open a school in Brooklyn, and he was driving around in LA. He was like, oh, what?
Yeah. And
so there was something trying to get through. And he was like, I could be a vessel for this, I think. So his heart at that moment was like, okay. And now I get it. Because I watch all types of work all the time. And I'm like, okay. I don't get mad ever, never get mad. I'm always just like, okay, misguided. Where's the solution? It's here. That whole thing.
Yeah.
But I like to set that tone of, you got to get comfortable with messing up now.
Oh.
It's the fastest way to get better. And I'm going to tell you the truth, But that's the other thing, this is why I love teaching, because I get to have a big impact on them moment one. And the impact dwindles over time. So those first 6 hours, 12 hours, whatever, is crazy potent. If you start right, you can finish right. If you don't start right, you'll never get right with this teacher, ever. You'll have to start over. That's why I'm always like, we are going to take this so slow, and it's okay to make mistakes. So I sometimes don't give myself enough credit because I'm like, everybody's doing good. It makes me mad sometimes because I'm like, It ain't that like Kurt around the campfire. Did repetition.
Oh,
He did it.
y'all were doing repetition at the campfire?
He did it perfectly.
I did it perfect. Come on, man.
And I was like, are you what? Do you know how long it took me? You know how long? And he was like, I'm just good like that. It was funny. It was funny. But I was also like, wait a minute, dude. Like, you taught him. Like, I took it slow with him. I mean, it took us an hour, you know?
Yeah.
I took it slow. We did one little moment, one little thing, 3 rounds of repetition. I do it the same way every time with every person. And everyone's a little different, but we start the same way. And so I was like, give yourself some credit. You freaking taught him, and he's doing it well because you're very careful with him. You're very specific. I was like, oh, yeah. I like to teach the way I wish I was taught. And so there is that factor, too. It's like, that's why I love it, because I spent too much time working with faulty tools that were given to me by people with good intentions, but did not have any business passing them on. Don't give me something that doesn't work. Don't do it. Don't do it. And there wasn't enough quality assurance at the first program to be like, wait, what are you teaching? No. There's no continuity here. There's no culture. There's no consistency. These kids are all over the place. They're just doing their best. But if I have the opportunity to build something, and I did with this little program, I'm like, ooh, let me just start with one. And it was Ashton. Ashton was the first one. It was like,
shout out
from Garland all the way to driving from Valley View to Garland. I mean, that was an hour and 15 minutes. Say it all the time.
Man,
3 hours twice a week. One student. We were losing money. Like, it was a bad investment. But I remember saying to Katie, and it was true. I was like, if we can help one dude who was in my shoes, it's so worth it. And it has been every time I've been in front of someone and been able to with such gratitude, teach them something, impart and share something that's worked for me. Because he transformed. And I was like, I would watch the light bulb go off, and I was like, this is the greatest thing in the world. This is the greatest thing in the world. I could do this all day. And it was just beautiful to see that. And so I got to really kind of cut my teeth more as a teacher, just with like, with one dude all the time. I was like eased into it nicely.
Yes.
And I had already been like, making videos and whatever, but yeah, man, I just love that first hour. There's just such a return on our time and the growth that's happening. And pretty much in the first session, people are like, oh my gosh. Oh man, acting's always been so confusing. That makes a lot of sense. And I was like, that's exactly how I felt.
Yep.
Isn't it the best? And then incremental growth every week. Just one little thing.
It's like a secret being revealed, right?
100%. It's funny because it's like, I had the answer the whole time.
Yeah.
Whoa. That's actually frustrating because it's literally in you. Like me and Kurt were walking through hill country on the hike, and we started talking about Too Far West, a little Western story, and he was like, man, it's so cinematic here. I just immediately started thinking about the movie. I said, producer hat went on, and I went, I wonder what it's like do I contact the state of Texas to the Parks Department, and do I ask them, and then what's that called? I literally was ready because it's sick. I got to show you.
Oh man.
I said, dude, I was just thinking, and I took a little photo, and then we were talking, and he was like, asking me about teaching, because he's a teacher. I've been teaching photo and video in high school for 9 years. So we talked about teaching a lot, and he was like, I think he asked the question of like, how do you teach someone when like, I don't know, something like they don't quite have it or something like that. And that wasn't his question, but it was something like that. And I said, dude, I have now crossed into the territory of, I truly believe anyone can learn that. Mm-hmm. Literally. They just have to have a passion. They just have to want to do it. Like I can't teach someone who doesn't want to learn. That's stupid. That's never going to work.
Right.
But if they have a desire, and everyone I talk to does, if you're going to reach out to me and spend time with my crazy self, like you're trying anything you can try. You want to act like, so I've got you in front of me and I'm going, I totally understand. I totally relate. And so if you have that, then you can learn how to act. Like I have all the, I just know it's true. I know it's true.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that I just know to be true. So it's beautiful because I get very excited when people are struggling with stuff because I'm like, dude, I can help you. And there's plenty of people that I've taught for free and just been like, let's just do it. Let's just do it. And I can't pay that much. I don't care. And they're like, what kind of business is this? And I'm like, I don't care. I really don't. I gotta work this out with you. And then like, you're going to be fine. Like, or I'll tell people like, don't buy that many hours. Just start with this. And then because you might not want to keep working with me after 1 hour. Let's just try a little trial of it. Because again, I want it to be what I wish was there for me when I was first starting. I wish there was someone out there that was just like helping me. And dude, the amount of responses I get every day of like, I can't believe you messaged me back with like a book of explanations of like what to do or like simplified that thing. Nobody answers.
Yeah.
I'm just like, they must not care. They must not care about actually teaching because that's the thing I'm finding that's rarer and rarer all the time. Is that a word? No. Rarer? That's what I'm finding is more rare all the time is just a genuine care to teach. It's wild too because I'm like, it ain't like I'm done acting. I acted more this year than I ever have. I ever. And we were on strike and stuff. Like, what is going on?
Wait a second. What?
Like, I'm not just homie that was like, those that can't do teach. It's like, why can't you do both? Why can't you do both?
Yeah.
Like, never been busier. Every day, full of stuff to do. Like, we could just spend all day just producing a movie.
Yeah.
That takes a lot of time.
Where are we at with that, bro? Where are we at? Anytown Pictures. What are we doing?
I don't even know.
I didn't even want to ask, man. At this point. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
It's rough, Mike.
I'm excited though, man. We're excited.
Wayward Kin.
I just don't want to, forget about it.
I don't, we just gotta mention it once in a while. Keep people pique some interest.
Do you want to say anything today or no, guys?
I don't know. How do you feel, Adam?
Dude, I feel good.
Oh,
I'm straight up. I don't. Now, Dave knows more than anyone. Don't say that. I usually am. I say this to John every session. Who directed this? He's like, you, man.
Shout out, John.
Who's that idiot yelling "cut" every time it's getting good?
No.
He's like, I believe that's you,
Adam Lowder.
And so usually we're pretty quick to be like, I think we screwed up in the writing.
Yes.
Like, how many times? Like, there's never like a Katie sucks or whatever.
No,
like, there's never like a
no.
What is it?
No.
It's never that. It's always like it's a story thing. Because I think that's what we've been doing so well is really, really cutting for story. Mm-hmm. And it is so satisfying because, I don't think a lot of movies are cut that way, to be
fair.
And I don't think they're written that way. And of course, that sounds insane because it is. You're not writing for story.
Wait, can I get clarification? Did you just say stories aren't being written for story's sake?
No.
Okay.
No.
And he said it.
Wait,
it's out there. No,
but it's a story.
But it's not being written for story's sake.
Oh.
Here's what's wild.
So what does that make?
They're not even stories.
Most what? Most
of them, they're not even stories.
It's a collected compilation of things. Right.
The story has to have a point.
Has to have it like a defendable thesis, right? Like a debatable defendable.
A theme, an expression, a point, a desire, inner truth. It's whatever you want to call it. It's got to have something. It's got to have a point. Otherwise, what are we doing here? If you watch a film and you say, "What was that all about?" It's not a story.
That was your boy watching. I didn't want to. No, I'm going to say it. Napoleon was whoa.
No good?
Holy.
Is it not good?
That's just not my cup of tea. It didn't seem like a story. And they're taking the guy's life.
Yeah.
Napoleon Bonaparte. Wasn't my favorite acting. Yeah, I'm not. And he's the guy.
Yeah.
He's the guy.
He's the guy.
Dude, I have a question. So
story.
It's funny how this connects. Here, go ahead, Adam.
I was just going to say story wasn't good.
No. Just not paced well. This compilation of dramatic moments in his life, and I don't know why they told it. At the end of it, I said, "What was that about?"
There's an inherent thing within all of us that's like, what's the point of it?
The only thing I could see, bro, is that age old like chase the sun too long and you're gonna burn your wings. You know what I mean? Like that's the wax wings will melt. That's all. That's the only theme or thesis.
It's safe to say if that's
see.
what you get, like a age old message,
Which is, but though,
like I get it. No, but like I it's got to be more than just something that's been told a million times.
I wasn't moved. Yeah, I wasn't moved.
I feel you.
Go ahead.
Don't watch the new Studio Ghibli.
Got it. What were you about to say?
I wanted to ask Adam because Adam's, he's teaching acting, and I think when I think of someone that knows a lot about just movies in general, and like especially like I think traditional like format of movies and what makes them good, like writing, like hardcore story. I think of you guys, and I wanted to ask, what's like a movie that's like unconventionally like a story or movie that you were like surprised that you liked? I don't know if that's a hard question.
Unconventional movie you surprised?
Like something that's not like a traditional kind of thing. It's like kind of maybe out there or different or weird.
Totally.
Because I keep thinking of Adam. Have you seen Come On, Come On?
I need to watch that stuff.
Mike Mills?
Oh, I haven't.
You guys gotta watch it.
You just watched it. You're fresh off of watching it.
And it messed me up. But it's like one of those where I don't think it's not like a traditional kind of just, A to B kind of thing. It's like there's like different elements, that they add that makes it kind of different. And I don't know. I think it aids to the overall thing. But I think of things that aren't like traditional stories.
And what makes it not traditional? It's they're using interviews and intercutting interviews and stories because it's his job.
And it's kind of like going around timelines and stuff.
Timelines are jump, so time's jumping.
Like Napoleon, I guess.
We're just flying. We're just flying through.
No. It's not that bad though.
Got you.
It's different.
Got you. Do you have an answer for that, Adam? An unconventional.
Or when you like see something that's unconventional, you're just like, I can't. Like it can't hit you. Like it can't like move you the same way as like a properly kind of.
Would you say like
story?
Would you say Christmas Tale? Is that the one I'm thinking of with Scrooge? Christmas Carol. Mm-hmm. Is that the one with Scrooge when he sees three ghosts and he fucking bumps around, goes past, present, future?
You know better than me.
Well, that's like a great story. It's a little unconventional. Would you say unconventional? Because he's following. He's like not dead, but he's not dead, but he's in this like purgatory, and he's like seeing.
I'm kind of thinking, like, what Mikey, you correct me if I'm wrong. It seems like you're saying is like almost experimental film.
Kinda, yeah.
Where something is absolutely not following a traditional structure.
I'd say probably more like that.
Because Terrence Malick comes to mind. He makes films like that are unconventional. They don't follow narrative story structure at all. Like Tree of Life is
dude,
exactly that.
Linklater.
Yeah.
I would say
that's true.
The trilogy is definitely not a
That's very true.
It's not like it's very experimental.
Yeah.
I think it's more. There's that video essay you and I watched where the guy kind of finds the hidden structure within.
That's true with the time and being on the clock. Yeah, so there is a structure.
I would say it's unconventional, but I would say that it does follow those storytelling traditional principles.
That's right.
Whereas Tree of Life fundamentally defies them, and yet is still moving.
Yeah, it is moving.
There are not many movies like that for me. Now, there are, because I think what experimental film is you're experimenting with what elements can stand above the cathartic impact of a story overall. Like, that's kind of, you could experiment with anything in an experimental film. Typically, I'm not moved by those. Typically, I'm just scratching my head. I don't see the point of this. But I actually love when a film has it takes a lot of sophistication to have a creative, outside the box, traditional storytelling structure that you wouldn't expect, like a Before trilogy or even like a Memento.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Memento isn't.
Yeah,
You're not. You kind of think, oh, that's wrong. You can't tell a story backwards.
Yeah.
But it's actually pretty traditional. It's just done in a super creative kind of designing principle way.
That's very true. But then it's still kind of traditional. You know, like, because I like that. I like that way of looking at it. It's like it's doing it in a way that makes it seem like it's not. But at the end of the day, you're like, oh wow, it really was.
Oh, bro. Well, Mike Mills for me with that music video, like catalog he did for that one album for the National, bro. That messed me up bad. And it was a life basically told from like birth until old age. Yeah. With the same actors, and it was just like. You can't say it was like it's linear, but it's not like, I don't know, just go ahead. It's just that blew me away.
Music videos are the perfect example of what Mike said.
That's very true.
Yeah.
Very true.
That's my only, I can't think of other ones that I was like, this is amazing. And it was like, the story was everywhere. It'd be hard to call it that, you know, like, or it was just some weird thing I'd never seen before. But again, like you see a movie, like I cried watching Everything Everywhere.
That's true.
Right? And I don't think that's not like traditional. I think it's still traditional.
Yeah.
It's unique. It's like a cool angle at a story, but I think it's traditional. And it's that thesis again, that major thesis of like which universe is the universe you're in is like the best one to be in. You're not missing out on anything.
What's the one movie of it's the two guys, it's them at dinner. And that's the whole movie. And it's like long.
I Dinner with Andre?
Yes. That. Maybe that. I didn't watch it, but I know it's just like them, just dinner. And
one place,
talking,
them two talking, waiting for
But it could be the same thing as the Linklater kind of thing. You know?
Yeah.
It follows like a...
But if you're just...
Linklater does a lot of more experimental stuff.
You know what I struggled with? Patterson. Jim Jarmusch.
Oh, really? I thought you liked that.
I haven't seen it.
It just...
Jarmusch and David Lynch are...
It's cool.
Yeah.
It's in Patterson. Like, it's cool. I was like, oh, Adam Driver, great. It has some unique, like, beautiful moments.
Yeah.
But I'm watching the thing, I'm like, why am I watching this?
That's true, yeah.
It never got, like, to a point... Like, I guess a traditional story might, a cathartic moment where it's like, that's why I'm watching the movie. Yeah. That was the message it was trying for me.
I don't know why I like experimental stuff.
That's right. I mean, hey, bro, it's taste.
I wonder why.
There's nothing wrong.
Yeah.
No, I know, but like, I don't know. I gotta really figure out why. Is it just because it's different? It can't be.
I don't know.
You know,
only you know.
Look into that.
Only you know.
Yeah.
Maybe you like.
I feel like I gravitate towards those.
Yeah.
You know. So I'm like, oh, what the heck is this?
Right.
You know?
Yeah, bro. It could be. Like, you like breaking these, like...
Yeah, these walls.
These walls down and trying to see what's out there.
That might be it.
How to do something different.
I was on a set once with... there was this girl, and we were talking about how OCD we were, and how we really love things to be in order.
Yes.
And just talking about how just completely insane we were about it. This was so many years ago. We were at this big dining hall. It was like super modernized, brand new, really nice. We like looked up, and the ceiling was totally chaotic with no pattern anywhere to be found in the design of it, in the construction of it. And she goes, "See this?" I was like, yeah. I thought she was going to be like, "This, my brain." He goes, "This is so purposefully and intentionally disordered that it eases my brain."
Wow.
It's like the disorder within a foundation or a structure satisfying.
Yeah.
I was like, interesting. Because it's an experimental film.
Yeah.
So I do get to sit there and control and watch it. Like, this is a weird poem. But it is a poem.
Yes.
It's like all over the place. It's kind of strange, but you get like this feeling sometimes. Or even with a music video. I watch the craziest music videos, and I'm like, there's no point. But I'm just like, whoa. But that's what music can do too, is like, hopefully there's enough of a pattern where you're following it. It's not too, like for me, Joni Mitchell, nah. No. I hate Joni Mitchell. And he loves her.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's too patternless. It's too spontaneous without being in a form enough for me to go, I like this. What I do like is like a pattern enough, but willingness to experiment within the pattern that I can go, ooh, I love this. Because it's like No Country for Old Men.
Yeah.
I talked about this with Adam. It was like, No Country for Old Men defies what you said about protagonists. It's got 3. So a story doesn't just have to have got 3. And I said, let's test it. He was like, let's. I said, who opens the movie? And he was like, Shiger. He's on the side of the road. He's got the tank. He gets arrested. I said, wrong. He was like, what do you mean? I said, who opens the movie? He was like, oh, wow, is it the voiceover? I said, who's talking? And he's like, Tommy Lee Jones. I said, who ends the movie? He was like, Shiger. He gets hit and his bones sticking out. I said, nope. What's the last thing? He was like, oh, Tommy Lee Jones. I said, that's the protagonist. What's the title? He was like, No Country for Old Men. And it was awesome because we got to really dissect. And I said, it's a brilliant traditional story embedded into an experimental way.
That's right.
It's a traditional story. You've got 3 characters with one goal, right? So it makes you think, oh, it's 3. No, it isn't. It's 1, and it's the least exciting one. But that's really what the story is about. And I was like, it's genius, right? it's to me, it's like the best writing I think Cormac did. And I used to think Blood Meridian was his best, or the Border Trilogy was his best. Nope. This was his most sophisticated. And it because it makes you think, oh, this is just defying everything. Dude, no, it isn't. It's just masterful.
If you want masterful writing, read All My Sons. Did you read it?
Sons? No, I don't think so.
I think I read it to you a while ago. Masterful. It's traditional, but whoa, dude.
Wait, you got it for me?
I think I did in the past. I gave it to you or something to read. I think I did. Maybe I'm wrong.
Really?
I'll give it to you again.
Doesn't come to mind.
But boy, from title to structure, it is Arthur Miller. Perfect writing. Perfect writing.
Dude, I recently reread Long Day's Journey into Night.
Oh man, Eugene.
That's one that you think, this is so wacky. Like, this is so autobiographical. It's not a story.
Right. That's how I feel most of the time with Eugene. Yeah.
It hit me. And I was like, in tears.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, it took me all day to read it.
Wow.
Long.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is the most brilliant thing this is maybe the most brilliant thing I've ever read.
Come on.
I was like, I get it now. I totally get why people are like, that's his magnum opus. I'm like, you're just saying it. You're just saying it. No, dude. No. It is. It's so good because you think this is just a full-on diary entry. It's not a story. Wrong. It's a beautifully perfected drama that makes you think it's just a diary entry. Like, it's just his life.
Yeah.
No, it isn't. It's so pulled from his life, but like Arthur Miller's version of that is After the Fall. It's a lesser play.
Yeah.
It's not bad. It's great. But Long Day's Journey is just like, it's that, and that's really when you start to like, that's what blows my mind. This is why I just forever will be thankful for what David Mamet said about writing when he also trained by Sanford Meisner as an actor. What he said about writing was, for the writer to write the story of the hero's journey, the writer has to undergo the journey. That's why writing never becomes any easier. I remember the first time I read that quote, I was like, thank you. That was such a gift because when you're writing, when you're acting, when you're producing music, when you're doing anything, you just think some people got it and some people don't. And I, surprise, am one of those that ain't got it. I don't have it. But when you hear someone like that, who obviously is such a great writer, say that, and it also is so true, dude. How many times did we have to say, what would Caleb do in this moment?
Yeah.
And we just had to sit back and kind of let him do his thing. And Caleb is the character of our movie. And then you just go, he's not doing that at all. I mean, up until, like we said the other day, like the day before shooting, you were like, "There's no way this dude would say that. There's no way he would say all that."
Right up until the day,
you can't find the words to say.
Right up until the day, we're still like letting the characters plot their story. What would they do realistically? What would they say? But that's from structuring it so heavy on the front end.
Wow.
You get the opportunity to, in the midst, find what the truth of it is. What would really happen? What is
life is like a constant blend of trying to find the perfect balance between freedom and structure.
That's right.
Like, that's it. That's what it is. And when you have enough structure to be as free as you can be, that's when like the masters of any endeavor, art form, any business, whatever, they're like tap dancing on the fringes of an experiment that we haven't seen. And they're pushing the narrative enough to advance us as a society, as a community, as a human race. And that's what is so beautiful about art, is it can do that. It really can.
That's right.
Like, crack the code on you want to know what the meaning of life is. Ooh, and then you're like, oh, that's it. That's it. That's why, to me, like, Tree of Life is a masterpiece, because by every count, that should not be a good movie. If you're just speaking from a script standpoint, you're like, if someone sent this to me now, I'd laugh in their face.
Yeah, you'd be like, what are you doing?
It's because it's above me. Like, it's above my ability to comprehend its mastery, because it's not like I watched that movie and I don't care. That'd be different. I'd be like, maybe I wouldn't be like advanced or mature enough to get it, but like, no, I feel a lot watching that movie. It's because it's just always pushing the boundary, always testing and seeing like, where is that line that we have all agreed upon is like, that's it. That's as far as we've advanced. And it's like someone's always pushing it a little further. And sometimes people go, what? Over the edge. And you go, nice try, though, sir. And that's what is so beautiful about art, is because that's why I say first day in class, you have to dare to fail. You have to.
That's right.
Because ultimately you're developing your ability to do that. You're afraid to go over the cliff. You're dead. You're dead before you started.
That's right.
You have to start to get strong at stucking. You got to get really, really good at failing, because that's how you're going to build to the ability to become the best artist you're meant to be, and to say, let's try something new. That's why I love Paul Thomas Anderson, because like, did I like Licorice Pizza? Hated it. I couldn't believe I felt that way. That's my favorite living filmmaker. Like, what? But I love him for being like, let's try, because he's unapologetically an artist. He's like, I write from my gut. That's it. And a lot of people disagree with him. Like, when he's making a film, like he was making Punch Drunk Love, he wasn't all that yet. I mean, Magnolia, come on, you're all that. But at that point, he was like, he did Magnolia as this 3-hour and 9-minute insane movie. That's an insane movie that works on many levels. He had no business making in his 20s. And then they're like, what are you going to do next? This is the biggest cast. This is the most mind-bending. The frogs are raining in the sky in the third act. What's going on? It's a musical halfway through. Who are you? What are you doing next? And he was like, an Adam Sandler comedy.
Yeah.
And everybody was like, what is wrong? And he's like, I want to work with the guy. He's brilliant. I think he's hilarious. And everyone's like, he's an idiot. And then they make Punch Drunk Love. And in the middle of making Punch Drunk Love, people are watching a cut. There's this great story that the musician who composed the music for Punch Drunk Love, by the way, freaking brilliant, John Bryant, brilliant. He's sitting there watching the cut. I think it's a producer, filmmaker friend, someone, watching it and just goes, that makes no sense. And Paul Thomas Anderson turns around and goes, it's great, right?
It's great. Right?
John Bryan was like, yes. Because he got to sit in on that moment. And he's like, Paul Thomas Anderson didn't go, wait, why? He was like, I love it. I love it. It's staying. And it's like he was so out of that true place within him, saying, I have a love inside me that makes me do things unimaginable to man. That's what he was living out of that place as a writer. And he was like, I want this to sometimes feel like a cartoon because I love so much. I want it to feel colorful and bonkers and like a silhouette of madness and crazy unexpected music and then violence. He's like, that's how I feel today. That's the movie, man. And you're just like, but that's not the way the book says to do it. And he's like, I don't care. It's because that artist is now, let the dude cook. Let him operate outside the fringes of your expectations. That's his job.
Let him cook.
If he fails, let him fail.
Yeah.
Let him fail. Let him fail brilliantly. Because he's earned the right to be able to try and experiment. But like immediately, I'm just going to make one movie and do that. Like maybe savants do exist, right? They do. It's not likely you're going to be there yet. It's so stupid to assume you are. So write from your heart and do your best with the skills that you have, and then let the audience decide and make of it what they will. Like, some people hate Punch Drunk Love. I would say this, but it's the only movie I've ever watched, and then that same moment turned around and restarted it and watched it all again.
Wow.
Same sitting by myself. No one was there. And I was like, I don't know. What was that? What was that? And it's to this day, it's in my top 10. I love it. I love that movie, and that's just the way it is. And I don't know if it's because of it hits all the right buttons with the. I don't care. I just love that movie. It's like it's a masterpiece to me. It's so good.
Wow. What's your? This is my last question for you, Adam. What's your hope for Wayward Kin when we wrap it all up? When we put a bow on it and we say, this is the story, this is all it's going to be, this is everything we hope for, and we're going to put it out there. What do you hope? Maybe for the one. What does the one get out of it? If we were doing this for the one, what do you hope for that one?
I just want that one. Basically, with the film, he told, you are not alone. Mm. You are not alone in this experience of life, the struggle. I just want you to know you're not. That's to me, that's as pure as that movie was for me from day one, you know? Picked up the phone and called you, that was the message to you. I didn't know that would be like a thing that I wanted. That's the expression from my side of the street. Every day we met, every day we talked, every day we prayed, every day we whatever, just got better at writing or learned or just made a bad choice or whatever, like good draft, bad draft, and all the rest. It was always that. Because I was writing from a place of, hey, just so you guys know, this is what it was like. And I remember saying that to Katie, I think like 2 weeks before we were shooting. I said, there was a lot of times in my life that, I don't know, I just felt, I felt like it was hard for, I felt at times not listened to. And I said to Katie, I'm like, I get the attention of people that I love and that I don't even know for like an hour and a half. And I just want to say, with a movie, with a story, this is what it was like. I just wanted to do that. And I think in doing so, I think you unconsciously help other people feel like they're not alone. And that's why we've always worked out of that place or tried to. What's most personal is most universal.
Oh, yeah.
So there are moments, bro, in that movie, like in the current cut, I finally feel that way. I finally feel like we're doing it. And that's always been the thing we've been chasing is like, where's the story? Where's the story? Because we wrote it from a premise. We expressed it from our points of view individually, and we did that collectively with a team. Whatever was in the can, that's what we can use to paint our picture. And then every single day, sitting down with John and giving notes and all these things, chasing that which is I'm one person as the director. Like, I'm just one person. So I've got to work from that most personal place. So like when we're there and we're just in there with the film, it's like, it's hard because you can't take on everybody's perspective. I always try to zoom out and go, what's the audience think? If you've never seen this, what do you think? But like, ultimately, man, I just want either a kid who happens to be 13 or a kid who's now 30 or 40 or 50 to look at it and go, I just feel seen. I just feel like maybe it wasn't, I'm out here floating around with no one to understand me. And it's like, if I had no words to express because no one would listen, like, just watch this. I don't have to say a word to you, just watch it. And you'll get to know me pretty well. Hopefully, that's like the mark of, to me, a great piece of art. An outer molding of your inner life. Like that's what art is. So it took getting acquainted with the inner life in the moment when we started to write it, and every day since. But yeah, I just want people to feel like they're not alone.
Mm. Dang, man. I hope the same. Bro. And it's the inception. You're talking about like bringing your personal to a story. The most personal is the most universal. Always. That's a hill I was willing to die on, and still am. And like I always said, like you said, that intention of picking up the phone and like reaching out to your friend and saying like, you're not alone, and someone's here, and like that just is a huge, amazing gift. And to like spend all that time and effort and collaborating and running up against walls and filling up tires and chasing down leads and like doing all this work, all this legwork just to like do that, for me, like, you did that for me. It is such a wild thing. Ask me, like, what do you want to bring to it? You gave me the ball, and I didn't have a ball at the time. So it's just like, it's such a gift, man. And it's so true that there's someone who's like, is pulling for you and asking you like, what's going on and how are you? And you're not alone in this. And I hope the same for the movie, man. And I can't thank you enough, dude, as a friend, for doing that for me, because it was one of those seminal moments in a lifetime of like a friendship changing your life for the better. And I could never give you something back in return for that kind of gift, because I got to live a dream. I got to live a total dream off of your intention of an action followed by a phone call. So again, thank you for, I can never even a thank you isn't enough. So I just want to, I'll be saying that till I'm dead, dude. Like, I always owe you for that. And, you'll always be my brother for many reasons, but like, that's a seminal, moment that speaks a lot to your character and who you are as a human, a friend, a brother. And, yeah, man, that was just a dream. It was a total dream. And I hope that like for that piece, when you see it, when anyone sees it, if one person sees it and feels like they're not alone, and also like, this is what it was like, we really had an intention of that, of digging and finding what it was like. What were the real things going on, and how a lot of people grow up, and there's no guilt to pass around, and it's a shared thing. And I just hope the same, and I hope that you look at the people around you more with some love, and you treat yourself with that same kind of love. I hope that you, I hope that there's just a few more ounces of love in your heart at the end of it. like for the hand you were given. I hope that your hand looks a bit brighter, and I hope you don't blame anything on your hand, and I hope you make the best of your hand. That's what I hope for the movie. Yeah.
You Are Here podcast.
Boom.
My last question is Wayward Kin 2024.
Oh man, it better be. I hope so.
2024.
This is some catastrophe.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you make plans, God laughs.
That's right.
I
That's
mean,
right.
It's God willing is 100% in a few months. Like,
Yeah.
I think we're in a great spot.
I love it.
It's really close to being ready. Got a couple months, and then it's just going to be, you know, dates and locations and all that. But we'll have a movie and we'll be able to share it. It just felt very good.
Yeah, man. Any last words before we go?
Oh man, well, appreciate you saying that. That was great. It's one of those crazy moments, like, you know, sitting down with Adam a few months ago.
Shout out Adam Paulstone. We got to get him on the pod.
Adam Paulstone.
Yeah, shout
Adam
out.
Paulstone, mutual friend, also a filmmaker. I've worked with him a bit. He directed a music video, acted in a few months
Love you,
ago.
Adam.
Great, such a good guy. We were talking about writing. We're talking about just principles of writing, just kind of talking about it. And at the end of a meeting, we were walking outside, and you know, we had been talking about premise. We had been talking about, what are you dying to express with a story? Can you put it into a debatable premise? And he was like, dude, this stuff. He was like, dude, I don't know. I don't know exactly what it is, you know, but it's this thing. I know it, but I can't say it. And I was like, if you could have the words, there'd be no point to make a movie.
Mm-hmm.
You're a filmmaker, man. Like, you're trying to express something to someone else that words alone will not communicate. So, that being said, I couldn't respond with words to what hearing you say that makes me feel and what it means to me. And I think you know, based on my actions and based on our experiences, how I feel and what I would do, and just do it all over again. It was the best. It was the freaking best. It was so amazing, and I just feel like we got to experience something that was just divinely orchestrated.
Yeah.
And so I'm just like, please, God, let me and this movie be a tool of goodness, a vessel of love for others. So I love that you said that, because that's truly, truly how it felt. Even at times when we would get a little bit self-seeking again, I just felt like God was funny. I'd be like, no. And we'd be like, okay, I hear you. That's fine. No, you're in charge. And so, yeah, man, the feeling is definitely mutual. I just feel grateful. I feel very blessed. The first thing that came to mind when you were like, if one person, like, whatever, it was like, I just want other filmmakers to be like, I can do this.
Yeah.
I can do this too. And I really hope that the film makes them feel less alone so that they can be motivated enough to take that chance, to take that leap, to say, I think I can do this. Because we're literally there to help you. It is not, let's get on the stage and flaunt around and be like, we did it. Like, we did it. Mm-hmm. Like, day one, I said, we were running late in the elevator, and me and Katie were there, and I was like, do I have this checklist? This, everybody's waiting on us, we gotta get. I was like, we got this. And you just were like, God's got this. Very calm, God's got this. And I was like, oh, right. Yes. So it's like that. Like, it was something bigger than just like our willpower. It wasn't that.
Yeah.
But I want other people to feel in whatever way they want to make a movie that it's possible to.
That's right.
And I'll be trying to help other artists and filmmakers express themselves using the elements of film and storytelling for the rest of my life till I'm dead. It's just, I know I've been called to do that. And so I really hope people watch it and go, Bozo did it. I got it. I can do it next. And just be like, I'm here to help you do your thing your way. It's not me
That's
dictating and making choices and all that. No. You're going to get in touch with your instincts, your inner voice, your expression, and you're going to tell it your way. And we're going to help you do that.
That's right.
You can.
Anytown Pictures.
Anytown Pictures, Anytown Actors Lab, all over the place, man. Guys, thank you so much for listening. I'm proud of you guys. Love you guys.
Thank you, brother. Love you.
If we do not see anyone, if we don't see you by the time the holidays pass.
Oh, Merry Christmas. Happy
Christmas.
Holidays. Happy all of them.
I wanted to say it because we never get the timing right. So
We never
Merry
know
Christmas, Happy Holidays. Big shout out from Teddy on the table right now.
High five.
I love everyone. My name is Mike, and I'm signing out.
My name's Dave. I love y'all. Please be kind to yourself. Please be kind to one another. You can do it.
I'm Adam. Love you guys. Thanks so much for listening.
Boom. That's how the boys
Say it.
do it.
Say it.
Good job.
That was great.
Okay, now I gotta really do it. Dave, you have to. Don't look behind you. We're good. Yes!